Hey guys, welcome back. It has been quite a while since I made a video, but I'm still alive. I just haven't been active at all, and my investing, I haven't even checked in to my account recently, and actually I did, and holy moly, is it ever down. But in this video, I want to talk about TransAlta Renewables because if you are like me and you held this company, yesterday, October 11th, 2023, they got delisted, which if you're in a spreadsheet trying to track it, it's going to make a bit of a mess. So when I came in here into my summary page, I was looking here at my account balances and like my available cash. I see $460 and 74,348. But when I looked at my portfolio, 74, it's this number is wrong, and the available cash I saw in here 1200, which was way more than I was expecting, and so I immediately knew something was up. When I started looking through my portfolio trying to find what was going on, I did notice that TransAlta Renewables was not in here, and instead TransAlta was. And I happen to own now TransAlta shares, which I never bought. I must have been given those when TransAlta Renewables was delisted. So I looked in here, and this is an unfamiliar quantity at an unfamiliar average price, and a whole bunch of unfamiliar information in here. That was like, okay, what's actually going on in here? So if we look up actually TransAlta, let's get back to this place, TransAlta Renewables, the delisted stock, and we click here on the thing that says Learn More. We're going to see the Wealthsimple statement on what's going on for some of their tickers that have special attention. And when you scroll down here, you see TransAlta Renewables. Okay, so they had a plan of arrangement. I'm not gonna lie, I actually received a big, huge like folder in my mail, physically in my mail at my house from TransAlta Renewables, but I just kind of ignored it because I thought it had something to do with voting. Turns out this is what it was all about, so maybe you should actually read those things. But basically here it said, holders will receive 0.666 blah 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 shares of TransAlta for each share of TransAlta Renewable that you held. Plus, you're going to get 4.6 blah 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 dollars, and that's just how it is. So this has to be reflected in the spreadsheet because right now, sorry, the spreadsheet here, my spreadsheet doesn't know that this happened. The last thing that I told it was that I like back in the day bought some TransAlta Renewable shares. Let's see if I can find them. Oh, sorry, I already added in. Ooh, I got ahead of myself. I already added in this line. I have been experimenting with this before this video. But basically, the last thing that my sheet thought was going on was that I had 176 TransAlta Renewable shares, and that apparently is not correct anymore because even there, my average price or the current value, average price is 1762, the current value was 21. And when I look at my account on Wealthsimple, when we come down here to TransAlta, these are different numbers, different quantity, different average price, and different total value. So we need to tell the sheet that this happened. So the way that we're going to go about this, I guess you could skip all of the rambling up until this point if you're just looking for how to sort out your sheet, but we're going to get into that in 1 second. I'm going to delete this and pretend this wasn't here quite yet, because I had, like I said, I had been playing with this before the video. So anyways, what we need to do is we need to tell the sheet that the TransAlta Renewable shares are gone. So first of all, we're going to go into the transactions and we're going to sell the TransAlta Renewable shares, TSC, RNW. We're going to put in that date, which was October 11th, 2023. That was the date that this happened on. For the quantity of shares that we're selling, we got to check the portfolio to see how many we actually had. It was 176. So we're going to drop that in for the quantity of the number sold. The stock price that we're selling them at, we're going to sell this at the average price. Okay. This is going to basically allow us to pull out what am I trying to say? It won't reflect like a loss or a gain when we do it this way. So we're going to take the average price. Oh shoot, I'm one step ahead of myself. We're going to go back into transactions. We can't type this in yet because it thinks I've already sold them. So in the portfolio tab, we're going to copy the average price. We're going to right click, copy. Okay. And that was 176. So in the transactions, we're going to come back in here. We're going to type 176 for the sale. Here, I'm going to right click and paste special. I'm going to paste the value, $117.62. But you're going to see up here, it's going to preserve all these little decimal places, which is kind of important for us. So anyways, and then the average time at the price of sale, that would actually be the same value. So we're going to paste that in as well. Paste value and paste values only. So it's going to be 17.62 with all those crazy decimal places. Okay, and we're going to drag this down because we didn't pay transaction fees and whatever. Now, when we look in the portfolio, this will have updated this position to have 0 holding, and we don't have any gain or loss. Unrealized gains or losses, we shouldn't, because whatever has been realized. And then there's also 0 realized gain or loss here, because I have never sold TransAlta renewables before. If I had sold some before and realized something like Ryokan, for example, okay, this would not be a non-zero number. But basically, we're trying to like just extract this information without affecting what's going on. Okay, the next thing to do is we need to put in the new transaction for what we got. So we got TSE, I think they call it TA, TransAlta Renewables. What do they call it? Yeah, TA, that's the ticker. That one's going to take a while to get used to. Anywho, so when we come in here, we can look and see how many shares do we have. We have 117.2587. So October 11th, 2023, we had 117. Oh man, what was that number? 117.2587. 0.2587. All right, that is how many we have now. You can't really see it because the cell isn't big enough, but the number is there. As for the price that we paid, when we come in here, did we even have an average price? There is an average price here. It says 11.74, but this number is rounded and it's not as accurate as we want. This is like, Wealthsimple is holding more decimal places and they're just not showing it to us right now, but we need to kind of figure out what that is. So the way that we're going to figure out the actual average price in your sheet, you're going to come down to the bottom here and you're going to go to import helper. And yeah, you can see I've already been working in here. Let's delete this and we'll start again. So there's some instructions in here if you haven't done this before, but I'm just going to walk you through. Basically, all you have to do is fill out these 4 cells. So we're going to put in TSC, TransAlta Renewables. Currently holding, we're going to grab that number of the exact amount of shares that we had, which was over here in transactions, it was this number, 117.2587. We're going to come back to import helper and paste that number in. Okay, I'm actually going to paste that by value. It's just going to work a bit better for the formatting. So you see 117 here, but it's actually 117.2587 because this just isn't displaying the decimal places. Okay, total value, we need to pull this out of Wealthsimple. This is the total value of the position at this moment, and this is best to do outside of trading hours. If you do this during trading hours, I don't really recommend it. Do this in the nighttime or early morning before markets are open. But this is 1346.13. So 1346.13, that's the total value. And then we're just going to put in the total gain or loss, which was, for me, since they gave them to me, they're down $30.49. So we're going to put minus $30.49. Double check that that was correct. Yep, $30.49. And this is going to spit out the actual average price of 11.74 with a whole bunch of decimal places after it. So they were saying 11.74, which is true. It's a rounded value, but there's actually like more to it. Anyway, so now what you want to do is you want to grab this number, copy, press Control C or whatever, and then you're going to go back over to transactions, and then we're going to put this in as the average price that we paid. We're going to paste it in by values only. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to drop down this stuff, 0 transaction fees and Canadian dollars and all that. Whew. Okay, that's a lot. We're getting there. The next thing to do is go into the portfolio tab, and you want to probably add in a line. However you want to organize this, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to add in the line for my 33rd company. I'm eventually going to have to delete TransAlta Renewables, which we'll do in a second. But we're going to put in the new listing for TSETA, TransAlta, and there we go. Now we got some information in here. Everything seems to be working properly. This is the only company that I have a fractional share of now. I just think it's annoying to look at, but it's there, and it's good. Okay, before we go onto the summary page, which we're going to have to do more work, it's probably a good thing to remove TransAlta Renewables right now. So let's just grab these blue cells and let's delete it. Unless you like keeping them in there, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to reorganize this Z to A. It's going to put it in the reverse descending order. At this point, I don't want this part to be part of my selection anymore, so I'll click somewhere in the data table, I'll turn off the filter, and then I'll turn the filter back on again, and it's not going to grab that blank line. And then we're going to go Z to A, A to Z, and that's good. For me, I don't know why I had these recording in chronological order since they came into my account, but I guess I can drag that down if I really want to and show that that is like the 31st company. Apparently it was a bit disorganized before. Anyways, so the portfolio tab is up to date now. The next thing, this is just a watch list down here that I don't actually hold. The next thing that I want to do is go into the summary tab and take a look at what's going on. So first of all, the easiest thing to check usually when there's an error is check the available cash. So I see 2184.98, and when I go into my portfolio, the available cash is 1273.47, which is not the same number. Okay, and then the total account balance here, I see 75,223, and here 74,311. So this is the correct number for sure. This is just like trying to sort something out. But the reason why this is different is because we've like successfully removed any history of having those TransAlta renewable shares. We put in the TransAlta shares. But when we come back to this little article that Wealthsimple had, they said that we're also going to give us $4.62 per share. So we need to put this in. You can either multiply this by the amount of shares you received, or you can adjust the portfolio in a different way. And I'm going to adjust it in a slightly different way because I just want the totals to match up properly. So what we're going to do there is actually we're not going to put it in as a deposit because that would artificially show that I've deposited more than I have, and it would throw off all these totals. So the place that we do this is in splits. The splits page is a bit of a mess, but there's this section over here for the adjustments, the cash adjustments and the non-cash adjustments. You can email me if you really want to know a lot about these, or you can read these little descriptions on your copy. But basically, we need to do a cash adjustment. We need to adjust the value of money that's in the portfolio, including the amount of cash, because the cash is for sure wrong. So I'm going to just take a guess actually at this number, and I'm going to say that we're going to try to find the difference between what we have here, which is 2184.98, and this value, which is 1273.47. So I'm going to put that in as the difference and see what happens. Hold on with me. I'm kind of winging this. I did do this once before, but this is what it's like if you're the user of the spreadsheet as well and you need to make these updates. So I'm going to put in a formula here, and we're going to go equals 2184.98, and we're just going to subtract the other one, which was 1273.47. We're going to get this number of 91151, and we're going to see what happens. So we're basically trying to add in $900 to the account. And when we come to the summary tab, the cash has gone up to 3,000, but we actually want the cash to be 1,200. So we've gone too high, and also it should be 74,000, and now we're at 76. So I think I did that in the wrong direction. Let's try that one more time, but we'll just switch the order. So this will be that one, which is going to subtract the opposite one. Okay, so it'll be minus 911.51. So this is going to reduce the total portfolio balance in the spreadsheet by 911, and also the available cash. So we're going to get 74,311.83, which is exactly what we have here, 74,311.83. And for the available cash, $1,273.47, which is $1,273.47. So it's all matching exactly to the cent now, which is what I was hoping for. So now I know this is correct. If you're not sure, actually, if you're not sure, if you have any US dollar stocks in your account, or like mixed currencies, some Canadian and some US dollar stocks, these will never match to the exact cent, because like the delay in the currency exchange will be slightly different from Google Finance to what Wealthsimple is using, so it might always be off by a few cents, which makes it a bit harder to track exactly what's going on and have full certainty that everything in your sheet is correct. But if you're like me and you only have Canadian stocks, then look, I can get this to the exact cent and I know that everything is in here is good and I can trust it. If you're still concerned that something might be a little bit off, the next thing I would recommend doing is go into the portfolio tab, sort these by A to Z, and then take a look in Wealthsimple as well. And they will also be in, or Wealthsimple, or like whatever your broker is. These will also be in alphabetical order, and compare these one at a time with the quantity of shares that you have and the total value of each position. I'll just look at this one only, 242833. And you come in here 242833 and check the current holding. You can check the average price and go down line by line. And these should all be working. Like if in the summary tab these match up, then everything in the portfolio should also be matching. But if you're in here and still something's a little bit off, that's a good place to start looking as well. Let's actually check to see, because I had to adjust the account by $911, but I had to subtract 911. So I think maybe if you took the quantity of shares that we received, which was TransAlta Renewables, let's just call it 117. And we multiplied that by, was it $4.62? It's 541. I'm not really sure what's going on. I haven't really thought about it for that long about how that works out, but the way that I've done it, that you've seen in this video, by removing the old position, adding the new one in, and using all of the average prices and stuff very accurately, which you can get from the import helper tab, like getting these super accurate numbers with all these decimal places that you're not going to find anywhere else, and then adjusting the remainder of the account in here such that we get the cash and the total balance correct. I think that's better, because I've clearly got all of the correct numbers in here now and I feel good to go. The one other thing that you should mention in here in the splits tab, just put notes. So like RNW to TA adjustment. So if you come back in here in like a couple of years and you're like, man, why is there negative 911 in here? What's going on? You'll be like, oh yeah, I had to do something back at then. And you can find this by trial and error if you want, or so often you can subtract find the difference between the values that you're looking for. Even up here, like one time back in the day, I don't know why I was off by $1. But that seems to fix it. And this was another situation back in the day when during a stock split, I got paid like $1.96 as well. Super random. Anywho, that was really long-winded, but hopefully you're able to follow that and implement these changes if you were a holder of TransAlta Renewables and now you got some TransAlta stocks in the portfolio. And yeah, hopefully that helps. It took me a while to sort out that myself as well today when I came in and looked. And anyways, guys, that is all I got for you now. Hopefully at some point I will be back with a proper update of the portfolio and be buying some new stocks. But like I said, I have just been quite busy with other things. But given that a lot of you have TransAlta Renewable stocks, I wanted to pop out this video so it helps. All right, guys, see you around.